everyone. I'm Katie Swain, Director of Alumni Affairs at Shepherd University. Welcome to Travel Talks, where we discuss the trips planned for the Roaming Rams Alumni Travel Program. Tonight, we'll be talking about Treasures of Ireland, which will take place June 1st through the 6th of 2025. We have Dawn Altamore with us from the Travel Corporation, who will go through all of the details. So Dawn, I will hand it over to you and you can take it away.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Like Katie said, today we're going to go through the Treasures of Ireland. We are going to talk about the itinerary. We will go over all the information for the day by day. And then if you have any questions at the end of the presentation, you can get a hold of our group schedule department or Katie, and we'll get all your questions answered. So again, my name There it goes. My name is Dawn Altamore. I'm the Director of Business Development with the Travel Corporation, and I've had the opportunity to go to Ireland twice. And on this tour, it's really a wonderful overview that will take in this country and give you some really good insight on some of the tour that you're going to see. I think it's important before we fully dive into the destination, I'd like to introduce you to Trafalgar, where you have the opportunity to do something that we like to call is tour differently. And it's really the best of the world unlocked. So you will see the must-sees of the local destination, as well as some of the local secrets in each one of the destination, those little hidden gems. You'll have one-of-kind experiences. On this tour, you have a really special stay with stories, and I'll talk about that a little bit at one of the local properties that we're going to stay at. We also make sure that we have responsible travel. So one of the experience that you're going to be able to do on the Ireland tour is a Make Travel Matter experience. We want to make sure that we're giving back to the destination, making sure that we preserve and have conservation of the different wildlife in the destination. So there's an exciting little trip that we'll talk about as we go through the tour. One of the most important things is we want to make sure everything is taken care of. So there's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week support team. You'll have on-the-road teams, which include our travel directors, our drivers, our local guides that will assist you throughout the entire tour. Travel preferences, if you have a preference while you're traveling, you can let us know ahead of time, or you can talk with your tour director while you're on tour if you have anything you need while you're traveling. On this trip, we have offered a couple optional experiences, and I'll tell you a little bit about them as we go through, just to see if you want to kind of add a little extra into your tour. So this tour departs from the US on May 31st, 2025. You'll have an overnight flight arriving on June 1st, 2025 in Ireland. We will go and fly in and out of Dublin. And towards the end of the presentation, I'll talk a little bit more about the air and making sure that you schedule the air properly. And you can do that with our Trafalgar and our schedule groups team. You just give them the information on what day you want to fly out and what day you want to come home, and they can help coordinate the air for you. On this tour, we do offer complimentary transfers. We have 3 scheduled pickups at the Dublin airport. So if your flight is arriving at different times, don't fret. You actually have 3 times that you can get picked up at the airport and taken to that first hotel. There are 6 days involved in this with 5 meals. So we're going to, on day 1, we'll welcome to Ireland. You'll arrive in Ireland in the morning. Typically, you'll arrive in Ireland roughly between 7:30 and 9:30 in the morning. You'll have some free time to be able to explore in Ireland on your own and walk around. But later in that afternoon, we're going to join a local specialist that's going to take us a dive in to see all the city's iconic sites. So on the Dublin City Tour, that local specialist, we're going to show you some of the sites here in the Dublin City Tour that include the Halfpenny Bridge, St. Patrick's Cathedral, as well as Dublin's Castle. And you'll also have the opportunity to do the Trinity College. At Trinity College, you'll be able to see the Book of Kells. This is a Latin manuscript of the four Gospels of the New Testament. And then in that evening, we're going to get the entire group together and we'll do a welcome reception. It'll be a light dinner that'll be included, and that will end your first day. On day two, that next morning after breakfast, we're going to depart Dublin and make our way to Glendalough. We'll have a chance to see the monastic ruins here in Glendalough, as well as make our way to Waterford. You're going to have a chance to dive into culture and watch a master craftsman at the Waterford Crystal Factory, learn a little bit about the technique. And of course, there is a wonderful gift shop there if you want to purchase any of the Waterford crystal. Most of those pieces are exclusively into Ireland. You're not going to buy them outside of Dublin or outside of Waterford. So you get some really wonderful pieces if you're interested in buying any of the Waterford crystal. After we leave the Waterford Crystal Factory, we're going to make a stop to do a Make Travel Matter experience. And that stop is at a SEAL Rescue Center. This is a wonderful highlight. This is all part of our Make Travel Matter experiences. On day two, our final stop for that day is in Cork. This is known as the Rebel City. This is a small university town. It has a wonderful, lively atmosphere. Our hotel here in Cork for that evening is part of our Stays with Stories. It's the Maldron Shannon, and that was actually the first general hospital here that opened up in 1720. They converted it into this fantastic hotel. So you'll learn a little bit about the history here in Cork, but you actually will stay in history here in Cork with the Maldron Shannon Hotel. That evening, you can explore Cork on your own, go to one of the local restaurants there. There are many to choose from here in Cork. But if you prefer, there's an optional evening here with Irish entertainment and a pub supper. So if you're interested in taking that, your tour director will lead you and tell you all about the evening and give you the option if you'd like to take this optional tour. On day three, we're going to make our way over to Cove after breakfast. This is a small, charming seaside town, and it's also the final port of call for the Titanic. So we're going to step back in history. Well, local specialists will take us all around Cove and take us on a walking tour and kind of show the timeline of what all those passengers did on that last night, or their final port of call that you would say for the Titanic. As we leave Cove, we'll head up towards the Blarney Castle. And as we make our way to the Blarney Castle, you have a beautiful scenic drive that's going to take you all throughout the countryside here in Ireland. And then when we get up to the castle, we're learning a little bit about the history of Blarney Castle, whether it's folklore or fun little stories the tour director will tell you about as we journey to Blarney Castle. You'll have the opportunity, if you look at the very top of Blarney Castle, you'll see that little arch. You'll have the opportunity to climb that arch all the way up to that arch and have a chance to kiss the stone of the eloquence, or the Blarney Stone, as everybody knows. You will hang upside down over a sheer drop to kiss that stone and kind of gain the gift of eloquence, or the gift of Blarney is what they call it. As you can see, there is some assistance there, so don't fret. It will be a really great feature, and you have a chance to kiss the Blarney Stone. That night on day three, we're overnight in Killarney, and then we will really see the beautiful seascape countryside here in Ireland. We will make our way out to the Dingle Peninsula. We'll admire beautiful wide open skies and kind of these peaceful small little towns that really dot the Dingle Peninsula as we go through. We'll drive all the way up to Sleahead, and that is as far as you can go on the peninsula's far end. And then that night we'll overnight at Manor West, and that's in Truly, Ireland. Very small town, right along the Dingle Peninsula. That evening, you can kind of enjoy that evening on your own, or if you have any interest, there is a special presentation that we do as the Celtic Steps. This is an optional where you can enjoy an evening of Irish music, song, and dance. They're all performed by champion dancers and musicians. This is a must see, I think, when it comes to the optionals. This is a really great kind of dive into culture, seeing some of these professional Irish dancers. On day 5, after breakfast, we're going to visit the Florence Flying Boat Museum. We're kind of going to step back and travel to the 30s and 40s when Florence played a pivotal role in establishing the transatlantic passenger flights. This is a really good highlight. You'll learn a little bit about the movie stars of the 30s and 40s that were taking some of these flights, and it's a really wonderful museum. This one here is the Yankee Clipper. You'll learn a little bit about the history of the Yankee Clipper when we go to the Flying Boat Museum. That afternoon, we're going to make our way over to the Cliffs of Moher. This is one of Ireland's most treasured national phenomena here. Beautiful scenery. I do want to mention, even though we're going in June, you definitely want to make sure that you bring a light jacket when you come out to the Cliffs of Moher. That wind coming off of the water there can be quite chilling. But again, you just really kind of step on that edge and get really wonderful photos. We will visit the Cliffs of Moher Visitor Center here. We have a chance to enjoy the IMAX type multimedia. It will give you a bird's eye view of the cliffs, and it'll fly over the cliffs, and you get really kind of an idea how big this is from just standing from the edge of it. That evening, we're going to make our way back over to Limerick. There is an optional medieval castle banquet where the court jester and the king and queen will invite you into their castle and you enjoy a medieval castle banquet if you're interested in doing that evening. The next day, that next morning, we make our way back to Dublin. We usually will arrive to Dublin between 1 and 2 o'clock. Those of you that are trying to get a transatlantic flight back to the States, I strongly urge you to make sure that you add an extra night in Dublin at the end. Most of those flights that I saw coming back from Dublin are going to be in the afternoon flights. So you want to make sure that you're adding an extra night in Dublin. I think I just put that on some notes on arrival in Dublin. We typically arrive between 1 and 2 o'clock. We definitely recommend an additional night. Available for purchase is a post-tour accommodation night in Dublin. That way you don't have to worry about trying to arrange that on your own. Trafalgar will either drop you off at the airport if you prefer that, or drop you off at a Trafalgar hotel if you prefer that at the end of the tour. So what's included? You have unique accommodations. All the essential experiences are included in there. You have some regional meals that are included. You have a tour director that's with you from on arrival in Dublin. We'll take you round trip Dublin to Dublin throughout all of the sightseeing, a dedicated driver, stylish transportation as you travel through, bucket list memories, and of course, stories to last a lifetime. So again, this tour, Treasures of Ireland, the pricing for this trip is $20.75. That's based on double occupancy. If you choose to travel for a single, that's an additional $7.10. Singles are usually limited when it comes out to Europe. So if you are interested, don't wait to sign up for a single. We typically have a few on every tour that we offer, but we want to make sure if you're traveling as a single that we can accommodate you. How to make a reservation? You can sign up with our scheduled groups department. Our phone number is 888-370-2736, or you can email us at scheduled@ttc.com. There is a booking reference number of C019651. Please reference that when you're emailing or making a phone call. That way we can actually pull up the booking and give you the proper information on the date for this tour. If you have any other further questions, again, you can contact our schedule department or Katie. Her email address is listed down there, kateswain@shepherd.edu, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dawn. I've been to Ireland before. I loved it. Would love to go back. This trip is amazing. Honestly, a great price. It's a short and sweet trip. You get all of the cool highlights that Ireland has to offer, without having to, take too long of an extended away, which is always nice. Um, are there any other like little tips or tricks that you've kind of come across or that you would kind of advise our travelers? Like you said, it'll be June, but Ireland can still get a little chilly in some of those areas. So if you have any like special tips or tricks that you've come across, would be great to hear them.
Yeah, I do have a couple little trip tips. One for sure, you want to make sure you bring some rain gear with you. Ireland is known for the 40 shades of green, and there's a reason because it does rain periodically in Ireland. So if bring a travel umbrella or a light jacket that you can put a hood up if it does get a little rainy during that time period. The other one, I do stress that you want to bring some euro with you while you're on this tour. A lot of the pubs uh, would don't take a credit card as easy. So having that, if you want to stop in for a Guinness, or if you want to stop in to maybe even get a cup of coffee in some of the little areas, to have some euro on you while you're traveling. And you can do that at an ATM when you get into Dublin. They're accessible at the airport to get that euro. You don't necessarily have to do it prior to departure, but it is nice to have some of that on you while you're traveling through.
Awesome. Well, this has been a great presentation. Definitely, if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to me directly or, like she said, to their scheduling department. Feel free to ask any questions. If I can't find the answer, I will reach out to Dawn and we will get that figured out for you. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll be uploading this recording to the Alumni Association's YouTube channel, as well as it'll be on our social media and embedded on our Roaming Rams website. So we're excited for this trip and to see who all gets to join us for it and for all of the others we have scheduled for 2025. Thank you so much, Dawn, for being here to give us a nice little presentation.
Thank you. You have a great evening.
Thank you, you too.